Do you need to hire an MSP salesperson? Maybe you're in the right spot, maybe you're not. We're going to be covering the know-abouts, what to know, what you should look out for, and ultimately, when are you actually ready to go hire an MSP salesperson? My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs with sales training and marketing. Before I get into it, I'm just going to start doing this. There are a ton of super helpful links down below. There's masterclasses, cheat sheets, swipe files. There is a free Discord that you can join. It is all down in the links down below. I am aware that YouTube, for whatever reason, doesn't like all my links. They break. It could be Discord not working. It might not work for you. I don't understand. Just send me a message, jump in the Discord, at me. I will happily get you the links that you want. But for whatever reason, YouTube is super weird with that. I apologize. I promise you my links work. It just, YouTube doesn't like them sometimes for certain people. So let's talk about having a salesperson, because ultimately you're thinking about hiring somebody so you can make more money for your business. That's really it at the end of the day. That's why you're even thinking about it. Or you want to remove the feeling of you have to be the one that does the sales. You're a tech guy at the end of the day. So you're like, I could probably hire somebody else. I might as well. Well, let's talk about the signs that you might actually need a salesperson, because that's really one of the most important things that you have to think about is what are the telltale signs? Now, this could be your business growth. You're growing in a way that makes you really happy. That could be financially, that could be the number of clients, that could be just you growing to the point where you are strapped for time. You have to do support, and you'd rather do support than hire, than do the actual sale. Maybe it's your expertise, your level of knowledge in MSP sales. Believe it or not, that's a real thing. It's a different industry. Yes, you were probably a technician for forever, and you're probably really good at what you do. But becoming an MSP salesperson is a whole nother ball field, because now you're not talking about it where it's already sold or recommending things. You're actually doing the selling and putting money out there. You might also be ready for some kind of sales strategy or sales strategy development, and you probably are looking to either have somebody go farm leads where they're going to go actively look for leads, or you need somebody to close the leads that are currently coming in, because once again, you might be strapped for time because of business growth, or you just don't have the skills to take it from there. So let's talk about some of the benefits of actually hiring somebody, because there's a lot of upside to hiring somebody specifically to do this job. It is a very critical job. Now, before I go on any further, there's a lot that goes into being an MSP salesperson. I mean, a lot, from the knowledge that they have to the personal skills that they have, and they are a little bit more rare of a common breed, especially because it's not that big of an industry. There's tons of software people, but there's not nearly enough MSP salespeople out there. So let's talk about some of the benefits that you get from hiring somebody. Right off the bat, we already talked about it. Increased revenue. That is huge. There's more money ultimately in your pocket at the end of the day. And that's really what you want. You're in business to make money. Well, an MSP salesperson, a good one, is worth their weight in gold. And right here, obviously, I'm holding fake money, but it is important. It is genuinely important to keep that in mind, that you're bringing that person on, yes, maybe to buy some time back in your day, but ultimately make your business more money. They're also going to be doing some professional networking. They're going to help kind of build business exposure. They're going to go out with a stack of business cards, and they're going to go tell people about you, about the business, how they do it, how they help other businesses grow. And this is going to help build better customer relationships, and you are going to expand your business naturally just by more people learning about it. They're going to be going to cocktail hours, breakfast meetings, coffee hours, whatever it is, lunch meetings. Heck, they might even be going to late night parties with other business people. It's part of the job, as crazy as that sounds. And once again, it's a rare breed because they're doing a lot. They got to know the tech side of it, and they also have to know the sales side of it. They are deeply entrenched in people's businesses because remember, that business makes all of the money for that client. They are legitimately handing you over the keys that produce the financial outcome that they want. And you have to take that seriously. And that's a huge role for any MSP business. And that salesperson has to be able to kind of massage and make that person feel good and feel confident and make sure that they understand what you guys do and how you actually do it for the business, right? So let's talk about what to actually look for. This is really, really important. This is the meat and potatoes of what we have to get into. Before I go any further though, I do need you to do me two quick favors. One, smash the like button. Just thank you. And two, if you haven't already, please subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel. It gives me more energy to continuously make these videos. These videos take a tremendous amount of work. The more subscribers I see, I promise you, it lights a fire under me to keep making more videos. I don't want to let any of you guys down. I love you all dearly. I really, really do. I don't just say that. I want you all to succeed. Those are the two metrics that make me the most happy. I promise you. Money doesn't matter, but the amount of people I get to help, that matters to me. So let's talk about what to actually look for in a MSP salesperson, right? First is going to be, you probably guessed it, they got to have experience. If they hand you a blank resume, it doesn't really do anything for you. On the other side of things, they might have a ton of experience and they might be a unicorn, or at least you think a unicorn, walking around. And that's really cool. But they have to have some kind of experience in the industry. Now, they don't have to necessarily have MSP experience, but they should have some kind of technology experience. They should know what a server is, a switch, a wireless access point, an endpoint, anything like that. They should probably have some serious knowledge in. They don't need to know what, they need to know what Active Directory is, but they don't need to know how to go in and configure Active Directory or set up Office 365 mailboxes. They don't need that, but their industry experience is really important. Next is going to be their communication skills. How do they communicate? Are they maintaining eye contact with you? Or do they feel good? Do they feel welcoming and open and happy? Or do they feel a little standoffish where they're crossing their arms? They kind of think they're a little better than everybody else. These are genuinely things to look for. They want to work for you. They want to make money just as much as you want to make money. So you have to keep this in mind, that while it is important to hire a good salesperson, their communication style, even with you, is really important, as well as it's just as important to have them be a good communicator with your target customers. There's a really big point there, because if they're not a good communicator with you, even if they crush it out in the field, you guys are always going to be butting heads. Trust me. They got to be tech savvy, right? They got to have industry experience, but if they are constantly having problems, especially after you hire them, ask them about, have they built any computers? What kind of technology do they use? Do they play video games? Learn about them. Who set up their home network? They don't need to be a genius or a rock star, but they should have some kind of interest and if they don't have a stack of cables laying around or extra computers laying around because they're tech people, might gotta be a little careful there. And then last but not least, do they have a proven track record? Now, it depends on where you're hiring them from and what level of experience they're gonna have. Are they a beginner salesperson, an intermediate, an expert level salesperson? Do they have a proven track record? Is it an expert level salesperson who has made people millions of dollars, who can prove it and go through that entire process and make companies feel great? Great. That might be something that you might not be ready for. If they're more basic, they're just kind of dipping their toes in, hey, you might need to be aware that that's the kind of person you might be hiring or you might be looking for. It's totally fine to hire a brand new person and bring them into sales, but you do have to know that there is going to be training required when it comes to those things. So when exactly is the right time to hire? Because believe it or not, you can't just go out and say, I want a salesperson, bring me the best salespeople. It's just not going to happen. As much as I would love to tell you that I wish that could happen, it's just not going to happen. There's a couple things that you need to think about, right? You need to assess yourself and your business. Do you have additional cash laying around to hire this person right off the bat? There is a financial consideration there that you have to be ready for. Are you feeling the burden of being the technology person or the IT or the service desk person and the salesperson? There's a lot that really goes on, and you at your core have to understand that they might take 3 to 6 months to really get deals under their belt. And I know you might be thinking, Harrison, that is a crazy amount of time. MSP sales are a long time process. It is not a fast sales cycle by any stretch of the imagination. It would be amazing. Maybe a super seasoned veteran who already has a network of other businesses they can kind of bring right over, but they are a diamond in the rough and they cost a heck of a lot more money to hire these people. It might take 3 or 6 months before they start regularly bringing in deals. There is a ramp up period. And you have to understand that there is a strategic time that you have to be aware of. And if it doesn't work out and you do give them 3 to 6 months and it's still not producing results, you just burned 3 to 6 months of somebody's salary. Now you got to go out and find the next person. It is not easy to find salespeople. You can't just say, hey, sit down and configure this network for me. Let's check it out and see how you do. Hey, let's reconfigure this computer. Let's wipe in. Can you do a wipe and reload for a level 1 tech? Can you set up an Office 365 account? Those are super easy skills. And you can sit there and watch the person as they perform. But sales is a much more challenging process. There is a longer time period. Remember, we already talked about it. Businesses are handing you not only tons of money, but the way that they make an income and a living. They're handing you the keys to the castle. There's a tremendous amount of trust there. And because of that, it takes significantly longer to close deals in the MSP world. It's just a matter of nature when it comes to that kind of stuff. So let's talk about actually hiring somebody. You need to figure out what you actually want to hire them for. What kind of MSP sales are you doing? Are you specializing in cybersecurity? Are you specializing in entire network rebuilds? Are you going in there and you're focusing on cloud? What is your niche? And you have to make sure that when you hire them, you put that on the job description. There should be some core elements that not only you value, but the company genuinely needs to hire one of these people. So when you do get applications, hopefully you get the right applications. Are you going to go attack a recruiting agency and say, hey, I'm looking for this very specific person. Can you bring this person to me? And you might have to pay them extra on top of that if that MSP salesperson stays there. And when you're interviewing them, ask them about the success stories they had, the failures they had, because everybody in the sales world has failed. Everybody in the world has failed at something. That's normal. But you want to hear, how do they talk about the solutions? How did they resolve those solutions? Was it their fault? Was it somebody else's fault? Why was it somebody else's fault? Why was it their fault? And really learn who you're hiring. I think, in my opinion, one of the best things that you can do is go out to lunch with your candidate. Just say, hey, we wrapped up the interview. Interview went great. I'm going to grab a bite to eat. Would you like to join me? Got to be careful because sometimes there's a little bit of a gray area in the hiring process. But you're welcome to invite them. You can tell them the interview's over and watch them. How do they speak to other people? How do they treat the server? How do they treat anybody? These are important things to understand and look for as somebody hiring an MSP salesperson. Would you want to hang out with those people? Ask them for references. That's a totally common thing to do. And maybe you want more than 3 references. Totally normal. Go on Google, go on Facebook, go on LinkedIn, search their name, see what you find. Be careful, depending on where you are. I know there's HR rules and things like that, but it would be crazy for me to tell you not to do those things. I want you to win. Just because the man behind the screen says it, just be aware of what's going on. You should not do some of these things, okay? But you want to do your homework on the right person. You're making a tremendous financial investment. Even a cheap MSP salesperson is going to cost between $40,000 and $60,000 a year in base salary. That's not including commissions. That's just you paying out of pocket. You hire them for $60,000. They don't make a sale for 3 months. That's $30,000 out of pocket. That's a $30,000 learned lesson that you're going to have. And throughout that process, after you do find that dream client, you're like, they're a dream MSP salesperson, you got to start getting them up to date. You got to have an onboarding process. It might not be the most streamlined if it's your first salesperson, and let them know that, hey, you're the first person. We're still kind of adjusting things. You have to provide them with training and resources. This is not just, hey, we're going to give you sales training, but the tools to succeed. Lead scrape for getting your contacts, other ways to see who's visiting the website, the tools that they feel necessary, maybe a call dialer, whatever it is. If you'd like, you can join MSP Heroes. It's a fantastic community. There's tons of MSP sales training in there specifically, but there's tons. And you have to provide them a CRM, a customer relationship manager. I love a ton of RMM and PSA tools. A lot of them are absolutely fantastic, but you don't want them going, how do I track deals? I can't just keep an Excel sheet. That doesn't work. You need Go High Level, you need Pipedrive, you need HubSpot, you need Salesforce, Zoho, Act, Keep, the list goes on and on, but you gotta have something that they can track their deals, their actual deals coming through. That way they can say, hey, I can keep track of these. I know that this one's 3 or 6 months out. This is this month out. This is this month out. And then you have to track those metrics. What are they doing? Have they done any networking? Did they get any business cards? Did they get any contacts? How many meetings did they have? How many proposals did they send out? Ultimately, even though they're your salesperson, you still have to keep on top of them. You can't let them free range completely. You have to keep them fairly steady on going, hey, okay, this is good. This is good progress. These are good activities that are getting us close to where we need to be. How many meetings are we getting? How many sales are we getting? How many proposals did you send out? And in the beginning, you can have those metrics. It might not be dollars on day one, but it has to be something that you can track and you're happy with, and they can track and they're happy with. So they know what they're doing, if they're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, and continuous improvement. Sales is like dancing. I tell people all this all the time. The more you do it, and I'm a horrible dancer, but I'm a fantastic salesperson. The more you do it, the better you get at it. It's the same thing. And when you don't do it for a while, you get a little rusty. You feel a little strange. It's the exact same process with sales. You got to use it or you're gonna lose it. And that MSP salesperson might be shaking off the rust. It might take them a little longer to get back in the game. You have to help them and make sure that they always either have somebody to role play with, additional training, maybe somebody to bounce ideas off of, specifically in sales. All of these things are super, super important to have you have the most success when it comes to an MSP salesperson. I hope at this point in the video, you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that notification bell. If I missed something, or you've hired a salesperson, or you've had a horror story, or you found a unicorn and you're like, this has been the greatest hiring decision of my entire business, I would love to hear about it down below. Tell me the stories. I love them. I genuinely read and I try to comment on every single comment. I think there might be like 2 outstanding right now, but I love hearing those. Jump in the Discord, come hang out with us. I love hearing the wins. I love hearing the losses. I love helping you guys absolutely crush it in your MSP. Other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, night, wherever it is. Maybe it's a weekend, and go crush your MSP sales and marketing. I love you guys. I'll see you guys later.